Today we're going to be giving a brief overview and a review on the operation of the Grabner VPXPERT and their latest generation instrument, the Grabner VP Vision. First, we're going to start with the Grabner VPXPERT. As you can see here on our main screen, we can use our cursor left and right and up and down to move to select our options. I always like to start with the background settings, so we're going to start with the setup menu first. So we highlight the setup menu, press enter, and you're given some options here. We can change our unit from PSI to kPa just by scrolling up and around the screen. Unit temperature is Celsius to Fahrenheit, the CSV format for downloading through USB, and also our language setups. Clock, if we highlight the clock feature, press enter, you can again put that up, change the time. You will automatically be defaulted down to the set mode. Press enter and it will accept the date and the time of whatever change you've made. Enter at the end feature will back you out to the next screen. Interface feature will just allow you, if this hooked up to a printer, to select the printer you're using so you have the correct baud and communication rates and you get the correct printout options. You can select from a USB printer, a Citizen small cash register type printer, and a dot matrix. Again, we'll back out again. The next one we'll look at is our memory, which is our results points. So you highlight that screen there, press enter, and now all of our internal results will show, and you can scroll down and select any particular one you like. They will be sorted by date and time run. So the first one you can see here, if you press enter, you come up with your results screen. At this point you can send it to a USB or to your printer to be printed out. If you hit the detail button where it's entered, all the correlative data will again be shown. So you see your formula totals, P-tot, P-gas, P-absolutes, the correct formula you've used, and the correlation values to all the other ASTM methods. All this is done automatically behind the scenes when you run the first sample. Rinse feature, very easy to use. This is if you have a particularly dirty sample or if you just want to rinse it without having to run the whole test. Just select rinse, hook up your sample tube into your sample container or your rinse. Trimix rinse is the best to use, and you hit rinse and it will automatically function through 3 cycles to rinse your sample. You're left with a clean cell and you can carry on with your test. So as far as the setup of the instrument goes, you can see it's very easy, not much to do at all. Once it's set up for your date and time, Celsius, Fahrenheit, things like that, it's global, so you will not have to change it again for each individual sample. We can discuss this here too, where it says press run to start. This is our defaulted method. So to run a sample, which we'll do now, it becomes very easy to run. In this situation where we have the default set to 5191, we're going to highlight measure and simply follow the menu on the screen. It says press run, and run will start a measurement. Enter your sample ID, start a measurement. So it's actually 2 button pushes to do your measurement. But I'm going to show you the little long way to get into that first and set up the default so you have the background on how it runs. So we're set up on measure. Press enter. You see all the committee standards that are available throughout the world on the Grabner instruments, ASTM, Europe, Britain, GOST, and JAS for Japan. You highlight the one you're looking at, and when you scroll over to the right, all of the available ASTM methods or committee methods within that particular country are available for use. So we select the 5191, enter, and this is now in our test screen. This is the same screen that you will see pop up when you go with the default method to run it. It comes back to this test screen when it's running. So this is going to be your screen that you see no matter which way you access the menu. So we have here, we're measuring cycle 1 time. And again, in this mode, you can scroll through and change these. We only want to measure 1 test, but that can change up to 10. Rinsing cycle we leave at 3. That will rinse 3 times with the sample coming in, and then it will load in a 4th cycle to run your sample in the 4th run in, so you have all the old residue from the previous sample cleaned out of the system. All we do here is press run and we start the measurement. This box down here where you see set default, that's highlighted, so that's showing that the 5190 method is the method that we're using to default, which is the easiest and the most common way to run the instrument. So if you wanted to change that, you would select, say, 6378 in the other menu, have that shown up here, highlight that and press enter, and that new method will become now your default method, allowing for that 2-button operation. If we scroll over here, we can verify the formula that we're using. If you think it might have gotten messed up, or if you notice there's something that did change, just go down to the default formula, press enter. That's stored internally into the instrument, will not be overwritten, and it will overwrite with the correct formula in there for 5191 or whatever method that you are in. So that's a nice easy way to make sure that nobody has gotten in there and changed something around, even by mistake. And then at that point we would just hit the run button. So we're going to run our sample. Now you see what's on the measuring screen. Sample ID, the measure of the temperature cell and the filling temperature. And you see here the status. So it will give you an option to show you where you are along the test. Regulating fill temperature, equalizing. We won't run through the whole thing. It's 9 to 10 minutes for the sample, but we've all run that before. I just wanted to give you an overview of what happens. But you'll see the regulate fill temperature, it'll equalize, and then it'll say position 1, 2, and 3 for the 3 test positions. And then at the end, we can hit the stop button to abort the test, no matter where you are. And then at the end of the results, you will get this screen right here. So this is what it looks like at the end of the test. You have your DVPE for your 51 method, D6378. You'll have your result there too on the screen. If you want to see more, at this point you hit detail, and then all the correlative data and all the parameters into the formula show up. All gets done automatically and stored automatically. So at the end of the test, next test, and you press now run to start your test for 5191, or again whichever method you have set up for your default method.